Hi, it's Jane. Got another one of those lovely head colds. Gotta love when the kids just pass things on to you left and right. A lot of what I have been doing this week is in gearing up for the Operation Christmas Child at our church. We are doing a packing party on the 20th. So a lot of things I've been doing is just cutting bags to make some backpacks with those bags. I've been cutting those. Haven't started sewing them. I'm going to start sewing them tonight and then part of tomorrow and tomorrow night. And then Tuesday afternoon, I'll be sewing all of that so that those will be ready to go for the packing party. I've continued to make a couple of bead kits, and I made a couple of fishing kits. And with the fishing kits, I used the larger prescription bottles, and generally I'll put in one or two 1-inch bobbers in there, 2 or 3 hooks, fishing line, quite a bit of fishing line, large toenail clippers, and I generally just take those out of the hygiene kits where I take the smaller fingernail clippers and the cuticle Madigi, Dumajig, or whatever you call it, and the nail file, nail file, and what else? I think there's 4 things on it, but I think that's it. 5 with the, 5 with the large toenail clippers, and I always take those out and put those in the fishing kit because it's a little bit easier to do instead of always having to worry about if scissors are available. Many times, like I said, will take like a 10-inch piece of 1/2 inch thick dowel and drill a hole through it to attach fishing line, attach it around the pole, and secure it with tape. Don't always do that because usually these kids are pretty resourceful and they can figure out to find a bush, a branch off of a bush to use as a fishing pole or sticks that are around in their neighborhood. So I don't always put that in, but I try to so that it gives them at least a running start when they go to do their fishing kits. The only other thing is I have been crocheting some hats. These are for the larger boys, the 10 to 14 boys. I've got a couple of girls started over at the other side. This is for that 5 to 9 range. And as you can see, I change up the pattern as I go because I get bored. This one is for one of the girls that is 5 to, get that off there, 5 or 2 to 4. And I had received a bag full of different things that people had crocheted and glued buttons on, little flowers. So I just started adding those into the hat for the girls, and that's kind of fun to do. And I've also done a couple of scrunchies and already taken them up to the church. That is basically it that I have been doing this week. It's been a rather busy week. And beading bracelets and necklaces. I've been doing that as well in the evenings. Now, we had gone to a women's night out at my church last weekend on the 9th, and I didn't show you what we had created. And this is one of the gals that come up with this, with the popsicle sticks and beads and a couple of pieces of fabric and a little bit of, the Spanish moss, whatever, to create a nativity scene. And that was kind of fun. Of course, it was fun, all of us realizing we can't follow directions as we got older. Should have been a pretty simple class, but we were all trying to make it harder than it was supposed to be. But we had a lot of fun doing it and gluing it and helping each other, because there is this way that you stagger them. to build it. But that was a lot of fun, that class, just to do that in itself. So that is basically it. I've taken a bunch of pony beads and got them in this is some of those lunch meats that I get, occasionally. Put it in there so that I can start making some of those hedgehogs for the next year. That is something that I'm kind of focusing on, is doing the hedgehogs, hats, making baby doll blankets for the baby dolls, and making backpacks. So, and they're drawstring backpacks. They're very nice. I will show you one of those when I do get it finished. Because there are some that I know I'll have made and not taken for the packing party, in the meantime, in between. Probably show that on Watt Whip and Coffee next week. Or maybe I'll just do an extra video and show you before I take them to the church for the packing party. Who knows? I'm a little nervous about the packing party for a couple of reasons. Because these kids, they come in and they are hyped up and raring to go. And I'm not real sure how that's going to be with them in the packing party. I did talk to someone who gave us some suggestions, that as we're going through the line with the kids, that they either choose girl or boy and they stay on that side. They don't pick and choose from the other sides, those kind of things. So we'll see how that goes. It should be interesting, And we're trying to let people know that they can continue to bring things up clear until the packing night. Although the packing night, we will ask them probably to help sort those things. I had taken a huge bag of jump ropes that needed to be braided, and I was worried. And I have quite a bit back in the sewing room that I just cut, and I need to make the lengths and start the ropes, that I was worried that I was going to have to be braiding all those in that bag. And it was one of those real big, the AC Moore bags we used to get for $1 outside the store, those huge shopping bags. And it was filled. What I had done is I'd taken 3 pieces of the rope, had already tied it in a knot, fan folded the other legs so that they could just braid as they went, pull from the fan pack. I call it fan. It's so that it's easier, so you don't have to undo everything, untie when you are doing the braiding. And so we had one of the, she works with the high school and the middle school kids, and she'd come in and I asked her, I said, would you consider taking a couple of ropes and braiding them and bringing them back for the packing party? So she took, and I'd had some extra grocery bags, from Walmart or shopping, whatever, there so that they could pack that up and whatnot. So she went around to all the teens and I still call them preteens, middle schoolers, letting them know that they needed to be braided, and they come back for youth night on Wednesday night anyway. So we had pretty much convinced them, she had, through that, to take all those. I went back into that room after church thinking I was going to have to take that whole bag home. It was completely empty. So I'm thrilled beyond belief that I don't have to try to braid all those in the meantime. This is the first year that our church has done a packing party, and I've tried to get some of them to get on board with doing things throughout the year. So we've kind of done this little planning meeting with several of us together who are talking about making those things and planning those things for next year, so that we're kind of in a more organized situation instead of everything being at the last minute by the seat of our pants. So That's where we're at with our Operation Christmas Child. I couldn't be more thrilled. All right, are you ready for a little what in Tarnation? Boy. Canadian rock band plays world's deepest concert in a mine. An Ontario band took their instruments deep into a mine to break the Guinness World Record for the deepest concert underground. The Miners and Sons played a set 8,086 feet and 11.31 inches below sea level inside the Kidd Mine in Timmins to break the record. This mine has spent 68 years taking rock out of that place, and that spent one day bringing it back. Percussion Norm Dyer quipped to my Timmins now. The previous record of 6,213 feet, 3.05 inches, was played by a band called the Shaft Bottom Boys at Fell's Creighton Mine in Sudbury, Ontario in 2020. You broke the record. Great deal, guys. You know, it's not every day you see hungry bears go into stores, but this one went into a candy store, so apparently he has a sweet tooth. Hungry bear wanders into Tennessee candy store. A sweet-toothed bear was caught on camera wandering into a Tennessee candy store in search of free samples. Photos and videos of the scene went viral on social media after the bear was seen wandering into the sweet candy store in Gatlinburg to pursue the sugary offerings. Video posted to TikTok shows the Bruin enjoying some snacks without paying, while onlookers take photos and employees attempt to coax it out of the shop. Employees said the bear seemed to show a preference for Charleston chews and Hershey kisses. The Gatlinburg Police Department was summoned to the scene to help get the wild animal out of the store. There were no injuries reported, which that's a good thing. And unfortunately, we as humans do stupid stuff. And I know you've seen those videos, where people at Yosemite are going up and trying to pet the bison or pet the buffalo or, go and touch a moose or take a picture with the moose in the background. And they wind up getting in trouble. So, or elk. A lot of people do that. Don't do it. They're wild animals. They might tear your limb off. Bite you. Get scared. You never know. Okay. Baby born near ticket counter at Florida airport. A woman's travel plans were put on hold when she went into labor during a layover at Miami International Airport in Florida. Miami-Dade fire rescue personnel responded to the airport just after 5 p.m. Tuesday after a passenger's water broke. She started giving birth near Checkpoint 1 and the hub's pre-security area. Firefighters, Miami-Dade Police Department officers, U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents in Miami-Dade Airport Division. Staff helped the woman give birth before the ambulance arrived to take the mom and newborn to the local hospital. An airport employee said the woman was between flights and waiting a plane that would have taken to another state when her water broke. And I believe I heard somewhere on the news that they named the baby Mia. I'm not sure if that was true or not, but you can look further for that story online as well. Loose cow wanders through the middle of town. A cow was spotted wandering through the center of Hampshire, England town, where it was caught on camera by a local councillor before being rounded up by the authorities. Councillor David Harrison, a town, district, and county representative for Taunton, snapped a photo Wednesday morning when the cow trotted past him in the Taunton Civic Center parking lot off Salisbury Road. Harrison called police and the bovine was rounded up by officers from the Hampshire Roads Policing Unit. It's not just vehicles RPU officers deal with on our roads, the unit said on social media. Today, E-shift officers put their cowboy skills to the test and safely caught an escaped cow that was running around the streets of Taunton. She is now safely back in her field. Now this one I find rather interesting because the video is kind of funny. Koala found relaxing in South Australia. Couple's home bedroom. A couple arrived at their home in Australia after midnight and found their bedroom occupied by an unexpected intruder, a koala. Fran Diaz Rufino posted a video to Facebook showing the scene that she and her husband Bruno were confronted with in their Roslyn Park, South Australia home. Only in Australia, she wrote in the caption for the video, which shows a koala exploring the bedroom while Rufino shouts in Portuguese. Rufino, who is from Brazil, told the Australian Broadcasting Corp she forgot how to speak English as a result of seeing the marsupial in her home. Can you imagine? I thought, oh my God, there's a koala in my bedroom. Bruno was like, lady, what are you doing? Why are you screaming? She recalled. Rufino called for expert help while her husband attempted to contain the koala. Bruno tried to hold him with some clothes, and he grabbed the clothes, and I called for the koala rescue. And I forgot how to speak English, and I started to speak Spanish. And I don't speak Spanish, Rufino said. The koala was eventually coaxed out of the house and proceeded to climb a tree in the couple's yard. I think he's part of the family now, Rufino said. Now, if you have been watching some of the hearings that have been in the Congress this week, as well as some of the news stories, you will already have heard this. But this goes into the what in the world category. New Pentagon report on UFOs includes hundreds of new incidents, but no evidence of aliens. A new report from the Pentagon has revealed hundreds of new reports of unidentified aircraft and aerial phenomena, but no indication of extraterrestrial life. And I know that there have been some psychics that have been predicting on the TikTok that the aliens will make themselves very well known by the end of this month. We'll see. The Pentagon's latest report on UFOs has revealed hundreds of new reports of unidentified and unexplained aerial phenomena, but no indications suggesting extraterrestrial origin. The review includes hundreds of cases of misidentified balloons, birds, and satellites, as well as some that defy easy explanation, such as a near miss between a commercial airline and a mysterious object off the coast of New York. While it isn't likely to settle any debates over the existence of alien life, the report reflects heightened public interest in the topic and the government's efforts to provide some answers. Its publication comes a day after House lawmakers called for greater government transparency during a hearing on unidentified anomalous phenomenon, or UAP, the government's term for UFOs. Federal efforts to study and identify UAPs have focused on potential threats to national security, air safety, and not their science fiction aspects. Officials at the Pentagon office created in 2022 to track UAPs, known as the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, have said there's no indication any of the cases they looked at have any unearthly origins. It's important to underscore that to date, AARO has discovered no evidence of extraterrestrial beings, activity, or technology. The Pentagon's review covered 757 cases from around the world that were reported to the U.S. authorities from May 1st, 2023 to June 1st, 2024. Total includes 272 incidents that occurred before that time period, but had not been previously reported. The great majority of the reported incidents occurred in airspace, but 49 occurred at altitudes considered to be at least 62 miles, which is considered space. 62 miles above Earth. None occurred underwater. Reporting witnesses included commercial and military pilots as well as ground-based observers. Investigators found explanations for nearly 300 of the incidents. In many cases, the unknown objects were found to be balloons, birds, aircraft, drones, or satellites. According to the report, Elon Musk's Starlink satellite system is one increasingly common source as people mistake chains of satellites for UFOs. And that's understandable. No injuries or crashes were reported in any of the incidents, though a commercial flight crew reported a near miss with a cylindrical object while flying over the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of New York. The incident remains under investigation. In 3 other cases, military air crews reported being followed or shadowed by unidentified aircraft, though investigators could find no evidence to link the activity to a foreign power. For witnesses who provided visual descriptions, unidentified lights or round, spherical, or orb-shaped objects were commonly reported. Others reports included a witness who reported a jellyfish with flashing lights. I would imagine that would be rather interesting. During Wednesday's hearing on UAPs, lawmakers heard testimony from several expert witnesses who have studied the phenomenon, including 2 former military officers. The discussion included fanciful questions about alien intelligence and military research using alien technology, as well as concerns that foreign powers may be using secret aircraft to spy on U.S. military installations. Lawmakers said the many questions about UAPs show the need for government to closely study the issue and share those findings with Americans. There is something out there, said Republican Representative Andy Ogles of Tennessee. The question is it ours? Is it someone else's? Or is it otherworldly? There are 2 links down below that story. One is I believe it's a newscast talking about those that are in the air and in the ocean. There's also, if you just put in a search for UFOs that are can't remember what they called it. UFOs that are fallen angels that are going into the sea. There are a lot of people that are talking about that because in Revelation there is a story about the Nephilim being those in that area, as well as fallen angels who are actually demons into the ocean. So, there's that interesting story. The second link takes you to that over 10 hours of testimony of this Senate or this House hearing to identify those kind of things. So there's a lot of information out there. So if you are bored one night and you want to hear the hearings, check it out. And that is that for the What in Tarnation. Let's move on to the devotional. And this comes from Promises from God's Heart. Promises from God's heart when you are worried. Don't worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Isn't life more than food and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the sky. They don't sow or reap or gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Aren't you worth more than they? Matthew 6:25 through 26. The Lord is my strength and shield. I trust him with all my heart. He helps me, and my heart is filled with joy. Psalm 18:7 through 8. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:6 through 7. In God I trust, I will not fear. What can man do to me? Psalm 56:11. I will be glad and rejoice in your love, for you saw my affliction, and I knew the anguish of my soul. You have not given me into the hands of the enemy, but have set my face in a spacious place. Psalm 31:7 through 8. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own understanding. Think about him in all your ways, and he will guide you on the right paths. Proverbs 3:5 through 6. Your heart must not be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. John 14:1. He will make your being right and good show as the light, and your wise actions as the noonday. Rest in the Lord and be willing to wait for him. Do not trouble yourself when all goes well with the one who carries out his sinful plans. Stop being angry. Turn away from fighting. Do not trouble yourself. It leads only to wrongdoing. Psalm 37:6 through 8. And that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the What in Tarnation stories. I hope after this week, I'm still doing a lot of prep work. I'm hoping that within the next week or so, I'll be able to finish this blanket that I've been working on and a couple of other things. But in the meantime, I'll see you for a few discussions here and there, and of course some shout outs. So I'll see you soon. Bye.